Well, the polls have opened on election day in the high-stakes Aston by-election. The Liberals are desperate to hang on to the seat vacated by Alan Tudge. We have reporters across the electorate. First to Victorian political reporter Simon Love in Ferntree Gully. Simon, good morning to you. So tell us how the mood is at the moment where you are.
Morning, Janie. Well, I can smell the sausages, which is obviously a good thing. It's the third time in a year that these voters in Melbourne's outer eastern suburbs have had to head to the polls. They had the federal election back in May and then the state election in November. So these voters in Aston, we're in Ferntree Gully. This is real outer suburban mortgage belt area. They are back at the polls for this by-election. It's a crucial contest for the Liberal Party, given that Peter Dutton ultimately, this is his first test of his leadership, and ultimately it is a test too for Anthony Albanese. But the Liberal Party really banking on their candidate, Roshena Campbell, a City of Melbourne councillor who, before this by-election, lived in inner city Brunswick. But she says she's picked up the keys to a place out here, and if she wins, she'll be a local.
We're really excited about being part of the community here in Aston. We picked up the keys to a property, and I know my opponent, Mary Doyle, doesn't live in the seat, and she's confirmed she will not move in. But I'm proud about being a strong local voice here in Aston, and we're thrilled because this is a fantastic place to raise a family. We've got 3 young kids.
The one thing to watch today, Janie, will be the voter turnout. The AEC was extremely concerned by some of the pre-poll figures and the turnout in the last 2 weeks. It was about 20% down on what they'd usually expect and what they got during the federal election. And you can see behind me, there was a big queue for the last 20 minutes or so of people keen to get it done, essentially, go in and vote and go on with their day. But whether we see those types of queues for the rest of the day, we'll just have to wait and see. And ultimately tonight, the big test will be where will the swing be on for the Liberal Party. If they are able to hang on to the northern end of this electorate, such as Bayswater, suburbs including Boronia as well, they may be a chance of possibly building on that 2.8% margin that was slashed at the last federal election, given that Alan Tudge resigned just recently, and given in the last couple of years there has been controversy surrounding his relationships with former staffers and also other things, including the Robodebt scandal, that may play on the mind of voters, particularly around the performance of their last local member. But for the Liberal Party, this is a crucial test, and Roshena Campbell, they're banking so much on her to try and be the next federal member for Aston.
All right, yes, hopefully people go and vote and get that sausage. Thanks very much, Simon Love, live in Ferntree in Victoria. Let's go live now to Georgia Simpson, who is at the Wantirna South Public Primary School pre-poll. Georgia, good morning to you. What's happening there at the moment?
Well, Jane, it is quiet in regards to voters here, but I don't know if you can see behind me, Mary Doyle has arrived and she is here with the federal senior Labor Minister, Andrew Giles. She's trying to win over those last-minute votes, but we might see if she's keen for a quick chat. Mary, you mentioned before that you have a, quite a mountain to climb in regards to trying to win this seat for Labor. It hasn't been done in more than 100 years. How are you feeling today?
Oh, look, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling full of beans and, pretty happy.
Are you feeling fatigued at all? We've sort of seen the numbers come in from the AEC that voter numbers are down this year. There's a bit of voter apathy. How are you sort of getting around that? This is the third time people in Aston have gone to an election in less than a year.
Well, if the sitting member hadn't have, resigned after 9 months after being elected, they wouldn't have to be out here voting today. But that's what happened. And, they are a bit cranky. But look, there are some people who are happy to have a vote and get a second chance to vote for me again. So that's nice to hear as well.
Well, plenty of people here are keen to send a message to Peter Dutton. Now, this is a seat that had a 55% Liberal primary vote only 4 years ago. And here, something extraordinary is happening. It's a very tight race. It's a tight race because of Mary's campaign and also because Peter Dutton and the Liberals are just out of touch with the values of voters in the suburbs of Melbourne. That's something that I've heard time and time again as I've been out here with Mary.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck today. It is starting to rain here, Janie, in true Melbourne fashion, so we might let them get back to it. But as you can see, aside from sort of Mary Doyle and Andrew Giles, volunteers and media, it is very quiet here this morning. It is only just gone 8:15, so most people are probably still in bed. The decision to be here at Wantirna South pre-poll could be strategic on Labor's behalf. We know that the electorate of Aston has a higher than average Chinese voting population, about 14%, and according to census data, quite a lot of people with Chinese ancestry live here. We know that the Chinese voters were really disillusioned with the Liberals at the federal and state elections, so Labor could also be trying to build on that momentum here this morning before they might move on to other pre-polls. It is going to be a long day, Janie. It has been a long couple of weeks for both major parties. They are saying it's going to be close. Whether or not Labor can sort of build on that momentum from the federal election and close that gap further, we'll just have to wait and see.
Georgia Simpson, thank you very much.